あなたのために日本の輸入ビデオゲームの楽しみの時間 bn-game.com
Hi everyone, this is Bobby from bn-games.com and we're here doing another episode of Region Locked. Today we're playing our first 3DO import, StarBlade.
Blade Star?
Yes. This was an arcade game in Japan which was never released here in the States. And from research, it seems that this game was actually a heavy influence on Star Fox, which came out on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah, because you were Star Fox's dad's dad.
Yeah, and you see there's two game types. The first game type is actually, visually, is the arcade version, and the one that we're actually going to play, the second one.
With the much better looking one.
Yeah, it's like a retextured, it looks more like a...
it doesn't look...
polygonal as much.
Yeah, it doesn't look like a VR mission. It looks like you actually play. That's what it is. The original version looks like a VR.
And you'll notice all the voice acting is in English, and most of the text is in English. But it was never released here in the States at all. Period.
Yeah, it's kind of a shame. I mean, it's not a bad game.
No, not at all.
So I should mention that this came out on the Mega Drive, which is the Sega CD in the States, and the 3DO. First in 1994, and then a Japanese-only PlayStation 1 port was made in 1996, and is kind of considered the inferior port because PS1 was kind of lower power compared to the 3DO. Not much known about the Mega Drive version. The Mega Drive version is the rarest I've seen, but not the preferred version. In fact, this version, the 3DO version of this game, is the preferred version. Something to note about the 3DO, for the most part, Japanese games will work on it natively. There are only a few exceptions. It really comes down to the kanji character scripting being on the disc of the game. If it is, then it will play on your American 3DO. If it isn't, which there's only 2 or 3 known, or 2 or 3 that I know of, that won't work. Specifically RPGs, text-related RPGs that only came out on the 3DO. Those don't work. But this game works just fine. Just popped it in, turned it on, and got started shooting. And it's a light gun game to some extent. It's not a light gun, but
it's a rail shooter.
Yeah, rail shooters. That's a better way to put it.
Another thing it seems really similar to is Star Wars 32X.
It's
kind of got that kind of feel to it.
There's a lot of that. Now, I have one complaint about this game. I don't mind that it's a rail shooter. I think it still looks pretty good considering the platform it's on and from the day and age.
Yeah, no, I mean...
The biggest problem I have is that you control this with a D-pad.
Yeah, I absolutely agree.
The D-pad just makes... Like, if you're wondering why I'm getting hit so much, and right now I'm doing okay, but if you're wondering why I'm getting hit so much, it's because the D-pad on the 3DO, and it would have been the same with the PS1, is super inaccurate for a game like this. This game requires a mouse, and maybe, well, even for some, a trackball, I would even say. And unfortunately, for, the console versions, you controlled it with, with your D-pad, and the D-pad wasn't very sensitive, and especially with early model 3DOs, diagonal movement was near impossible on the original controllers. So imagine having that problem.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, when I played it, I didn't have any trouble with the D-pad. But then I prefer the D-pad. Most of the time.
It's not precise.
Yeah,
especially when you get later on.
There are parts where you get hit kind of unfairly because you just can't move quickly enough.
No, I know what you're saying, but I mean, when I played it, I really didn't have that problem.
You didn't get as far as I did.
Well, maybe not as far as you did, but I mean, still, right here, I think I was doing a little better. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, for these old games, I guess I'm used to playing with a D-pad on them.
The arcade version was played with a joystick.
I think that's a preferred method, especially considering how fast the ship is going and how fast they expect you to hit it. I think Star Fox worked a little better because you had control of the ship. You could move yourself out of harm's way.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So here you can't do that. You just have to, aim.
I think part of the reason why we're not playing this one right now on the original version is because this version looks better, and the home ports had this texture mapping versus the arcade version, which was all polygonal, like you said, a VR mission.
It was nice that they included it, but this is vastly superior to the VR-esque looking.
You know, the one thing I was thinking is if you get easy motion sickness, this game would probably do it to you.
Yeah, although I will say the motion is really smooth.
Yeah, yeah.
Graphically, like I said, I think it looks great.
So, it's like I said, it was never released here in the States, and it's fairly rare. It's actually fairly well known in Japan as well, especially in arcades. It was actually well regarded. In the ship, there's a lot of models on it. In fact, if you look at the ship in the beginning, I kind of think it looks like an Andros head from Star Fox a little bit. One of the enemy types, it just kind of looks similar. Now, as far as picking it up, this game goes for approximately $20 to $40, depending on where you get it from, used, what platform. Actually, we found a PS1 copy for $5, but as I said, it's not the preferred platform for this. 3DO it was better optimized for the 3DO.
It was meant to be played.
Yeah,
on 3DO.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I probably would even say not to even bother with the Mega Drive or the Sega CD in that respect, because you know that was inferior as well, even worse than the PS1 if you really get down to it. But you know, like I said, $20–$40. You know, you get the disc, you pop it in, and you play it. Now, there's not a lot of replayability here. Obviously, you can keep running until you get to the end of the game, but once you finish it, which is kind of a short game, there's not much to do after that, other than play it in the other graphic mode.
Or see if you can hit more enemies. That's really the only thing.
Yeah, and you know, to some extent you can say Star Fox for the same thing, but I think Star Fox holds up better just for the flying aspect, where this one is, it's rails, it's on rails. Although it's pretty, it's definitely pretty.
It's good on rails.
Yeah.
It doesn't put you in situations where
you
get hit unfairly. Oh, yeah, you know, nitpicking.
Yeah.
You can nitpick, but it's still really good.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, Star Fox is good just because they kind of went the route of, like, say, a Space Harrier.
Yeah.
I actually like all these odd ship designs. And I mean, you know it's an arcade game. It feels like an arcade game. And usually when an arcade game gets ported, I think it usually loses that.
It loses something, but this actually gains something.
Yeah, no, definitely. And the overhaul really helps. Although I'm getting tired of hearing this guy talk about the ship, like, keep on trying,
I'm more interested in seeing all these. I definitely think that you know, it's rumored, it's not official, but I definitely see Star Fox stealing. Well, not stealing, you know, being
heavily influenced.
Heavily influenced. Yeah, I don't want to see stealing because then you get people against you. But a lot of these ship types, a lot of these character designs or enemy designs,
planet
if you will,
in the background.
Yeah. By the way, that's the
definitely
Death Star.
Star Fox.
That's the Death Star right there, basically.
I keep thinking Fox is gonna say all range mode,
and then right here,
no, it's been that.
Here's gonna say, oh, I hit Womp Rats like that in my T16. That's right there. That's what that was. And then this right here is Venom.
But Bobby, is it a trap?
You saw it. You see it.
Man.
Yes. I think you can't really deny it at that point.
No,
Well,
not at all.
So it's either Venom or the planet you run the tank on.
Well, you know what the thing is, it starts throwing obstacles in front of you, like out of nowhere, like the geometry.
Oh,
I like it. I mean, I paid about $16. I got lucky, but most eBay listings are more expensive, and a lot of them come with the case. And you know, if you're not gonna find this in an import store. I really doubt it. You know, it's not super common.
Well, just here in the States, just 3DO imports in general is really rare.
3DO, period.
Yeah.
It's rare. If you really get down to it, I mean, 3DO was not a successful console. If you want to get down to it, but underappreciated, definitely underappreciated. But you know, it is a decent game. Is it worth the $20? Depends on how much you like this kind of.
Depends on how much you like on-rail shooters.
How much you like Star Fox would definitely play a factor.
I'll say it depends
if you want to see its
if
precursor.
You have Star Fox.
Yeah.
Although, don't expect Star Fox, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it
is, but it isn't. I mean, it's got aspects of it, and you can definitely see how it's very much in that vein, and they tried to make homage to that, if anything. But Star Fox.
Well, I mean, one of the things about this one is that it's like a bare bones Star Fox. I mean, Star Fox had so much more, including its story. Yeah, it had a lot more to put you more into the game. This is just kind of like, oh yeah, I'm playing a shooter. You know, it's not really you're not really playing it for anything other than really score and to get to the end.
You're basically just defending yourself as you.
Yeah, where like Star Fox had an actual storyline where it's like you wanted to know what happens, you wanted to shoot the weird face.
Vandross. Yeah, but no, definitely a great little game. Very fun.
And this isn't the Death Star Trench Run at all.
But expensive. And really is only for collectors if you're a real collector. If you're not a collector, if you don't own a 3DO, like I said, I probably wouldn't recommend the PS1 version.
There was no PC version of this?
No PC version. Just maybe if you have an arcade cabinet, then you probably live in Japan.
Or are rich. And if you're rich, can we have an extra 3DO?
Can I have the arcade cabinet? There's your trench run.
Jeez.
I mean, there's not much to say. It's pretty self-explanatory. You know, this was probably the shortest life because at a certain point it just gets almost impossible.
Yeah,
I like this part.
Do you have infinite lives?
No. I lose my last life. I don't even make it to the end. I just played this one to run through and I thought, oh well, I got a good distance. You got to see what it's about.
Yeah, it's like it doesn't get much better than this.
Yeah, it's pretty much
This guy's like the fucking greatest pilot ever.
And there's only one of them for some reason.
Greatest pilot, worst shot.
Yeah.
Hey, D-pad. Alright everyone, well this was StarBlade for the 3DO, Japanese import. This is another episode of Region Locked. Please subscribe and let us know what you think. Thank you. We love comments. Please comment.
Phallic reference.